total. One, the first one, regarding the motion for the BOE attorney to prepare ethics violation complaint against another member. So I sent an email on 5/27 questioning the validity or legality of the motion, as well as the use of the BOE attorney. As for nj.gov, and that's the nj.gov/education/ethics/comp-form, any person might file a complaint with the School Ethics Commission, but as an entity, it may not file a complaint, although individual members of the board may file. So, having said that, the question is, given the law, given this rule, can the board agree that the motion was invalid and that the BOE attorney will not be paid to pursue this motion? And if Mr. Chinchulli wishes to pursue this on his own, which he's perfectly, allowed to do, can he please outline the basis of the complaint? Or is this something that will need like an Oprah request for? I mean, I don't know the process, so I'm just asking. And then, again, with respect to the BOE attorney, is the BOE attorney being paid for the 2 hours she was present during the teacher and retirement ceremonies? Okay. Second question, this is regarding the correspondence on the budget cut clarification. So this originated on May 19th, as Ms. Kawasinski sent the board an email questioning the clarification of budget cuts for school supplies, line items totaling $240,000. And I'll read out the questions. If these cuts were reasonably made, has there been a compensation for the loss of supplies, materials, and textbooks in other areas? Who is part of the process responsible for making cuts? Who decides what cuts get and who decides what gets cut and how much? Was the administration and or teaching staff part of the process of making cuts? If so, when and how were they involved? On May 25th, I asked for a response to the question at the Board of Ed meeting, and Mr. DeQuilla responded that nothing was cut. On May 26th, I sent a follow-up to ask the board and Mr. DeQuilla to explain which numbers in the analysis were incorrect to make the statement nothing was cut accurate. On Thursday, June 2nd, there was a response from Mr. DeQuilla to Ms. Kapusinski, said that a response from me on the budget will come once I'm ready to share. So the question is, Mr. DeQuilla, when will you be ready to share the analysis? And I guess why is it taking so long? Like, what information did you have at the time of you making that statement that you had to support the statement that nothing was cut? So I guess the fundamental issue for me is that the response was not based on appears to have not been based on any data. And because if it was, it wouldn't take so long to formulate the response. So it just makes me wonder about the due diligence the board takes in making the decisions and answering the questions. Okay. So next question. On the theme of budget, May 19th, email to the board about cost per student analysis that Dr. Foregger had put together and tried to review at the April 28th BOE meeting. I asked if the analysis had been vetted. On May 23rd, Dr. Varley replied that she wasn't sure if it was completed or not. So if the analysis is accurate, it does indeed show the highest cost per student relative to nearby districts, even as school supplies are being cut. I would think the board would be very concerned about this. So the question is the board taking steps to review the analysis, and if not, why? Why not? And finally, the question around equipment. So it seems like Mr. McKinney's the only one who has this information, and he hasn't been at the last, he wasn't at the last meeting, and he's not at this meeting. So, and the last update we had was back in April. Does the board have any response to what is taking so long, and when will this equipment for the Zoom meetings be available? I have some other general comments, but
I did not time it, so I'm going to ask you to give me a chance to answer, and then another other. With regard to the first item, I will not making any comments on that going forward. On the budget cut clarification, I asked about it and said I was assured it was not cut. The reason why I have not answered it is because I want to see it myself. Because if I'm going to give an answer and say it, I want to be able to look at it myself. I work full time. And also have a family at night, so I have not had an opportunity to do that. I will have an answer. My goal is trying to get it by the next board meeting to be able to do that. I want to make sure when I got the information from business administration office that it wasn't. I want to see it, I want to understand it, but I will be honest with you, I'm also a full-time employee and also father of 3, and I just did not have a chance to finish it. I want to make sure when I say the answer back correctly, I can point to the budget, the line, and everything to say why that's not correct and maybe me misinterpreted. That's why I want to make sure I am saying that exactly correct. So that's that. Cost per student evaluation, I don't have an answer. I don't know. I have to talk to Dr. Varley on that. And then as far as the equipment Zoom, I will have an update at the next meeting to understand what's going on with it. So again, I do not have an answer. I haven't talked to Dr. McKinney. So I don't have an answer to that tonight.
Okay. So if I still have time?
Can we let?
Yes,
I
that's
didn't.
fine. Thank you.
I didn't time it.